This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to week 23 of my Arrowverse recap, and I am going over this week an episode of Legends, episode 2 of, I think it's episode like 13 or 14 of Legends, episode 2 is Stargirl, and finally the finale to season 1 of Superman and Lois. There will be spoilers for all of those in this, and quick channel update. On Sunday, I'll have a review of the Ironmonger Mayhem set. And on Saturday, I might also toss out my Bad Batch Season 1 review. Not sure about that one yet. I'll probably make the decision. Also, look out for my What If Episode 2 review. Which should be out anytime soon from when you're watching this. It depends on when I wake up. Kind of doing this kind of late. After I, streamed Lego Batman 3. It's like 12:30 right now, so I have no idea when I'm gonna, wake up tomorrow, but I'm gonna wake up, watch What If Episode 2, and try to review it as soon as possible. So, let's go into these episodes, starting with the Legends episode. And honestly, this was a really fun episode. I just had fun with the show overall. As I've said, I think, multiple times, I just show for the fun of it and not in seriousness. If you watched this seriously, it probably would suck. But I watch this for the fun. And it's a really fun show. I really like the relationship between Sarah and Ava, and like how this continued right off the end of the last episode. I like, the stuff with Rory. That was pretty funny to see him with hair. And this entire game show thing was interesting, and also to see Bishop return. Because they definitely had to, bring him back, because this would have been way too late to introduce a new villain for the season. And yeah, I think they did the best they could, and it went pretty well. Honestly, this season's been so fun for me, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm definitely interested to see Constantine story continue and finish up, since he's being written off the show because he's getting his own HBO series, and because Warner Brothers has to be, and AT&T will have to be, themselves. You can only have one version of Constantine existing, even though you could have, but I think like 2, maybe 3 Superman. Well, 2 versions of Superman. Technically they're gonna have nearly 2 versions of Supergirl, but her show is, going to this last season. Yeah, I'll be to continue to review that next week. And yeah, with it, I think that overall it's been pretty, decent. Sorry, I kind of got distracted for a minute. But let's go back to looking at, Legends, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I think that the season has been very good overall. I think it's the best one. I think the best season was, and always will be, season 2. I think that had, the best balance of it being fun, but also, good enough to take it seriously. But I still enjoyed the season. Definitely like the alien theme. And I'm kind of sad there's only a few episodes left. And, soon it's just going to be Supergirl and Stargirl. And although I do enjoy Stargirl. Supergirl has never been my favorite. In fact, until kind of Batwoman came in, it was my least favorite. But still looking forward to seeing last season what they could do with it. Well, that's something like that. I think with Legends, yeah, I'm not really surprised because of most people don't see it as the show it is. It may be canceled soon. I don't know if this season's gonna be the next season's gonna be the last one. But the last thing I have to say is, well, before that, it was funny to see that they didn't want Barry and Iris at the wedding because they think some supervillain's gonna show up, which is a pretty good joke. But I think that with it, they should definitely. Well, I hope they got, especially I was thinking of just at least Lance. And now that they mentioned Black Siren, I think that would also be fitting. And they don't even need to appear for the full episode. Something like in Fade Out for Arrow, where they just appear at the end for the wedding, would work. Because I think it would be really important and something I want to see. Of course, they can't get the entire cast of Arrow there. And there's some other people that probably won't be able to get in, which could be kind of fitting, but it'd be fun if they could have some people from Arrow there. Probably not from the Flash, since they don't want Barry and Iris there to, have another Nazi army invade, but something telling me that it's still going to be crashed by supervillains, even if they keep Barry and Iris on the other side of the timeline from them. You can just trust me with that. But really, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was really fun. And to see Constantine's dark side be turned into like a physical manifestation, and to see his addiction, continue. And the only thing I'm really wondering is what's going to happen with one of the two Zaris, because either she's going to be written off the show to be with Constantine, which will kind of be weird because every 24 hours you have to swap out with the other one, or I think every 24 48 hours they have to swap out with the other one, so she could be with, so they could each be able to live their lives, and they could just kind of say maybe it's off screen and she appears in every other episode, but they still have to mention Constantine. And kind of thinking of how Warner Brothers is, they're not going to be too willing to do that, especially since Matt Ryan's supposed to continue playing another character. It's not supposed to be Constantine, but I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of a relative of his. This is a different name because, of course, Constantine can't be used anymore. But I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see the next episode. The Stargirl episode, I'm actually going to be kind of quick with, because again, it's not a huge action-heavy episode. I don't really have any footage directly for it. Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired. I want to spend most of my time on the Superman and Lois finale. And I think it was a pretty good episode. I think it was some interesting stuff that I'm excited to see. And definitely interesting to see Green Lantern's daughter there. And it's probably good they wrote her off really quickly because, having a Green Lantern, even if it is using, Alan Scott's lantern, which is, weakened by wood. Just, a completely different story for another time. But, and, instantly makes her the most powerful member. And really, in a fight, no one else would be as much of a use, because with Green Lantern, at least when he's in the Justice League, everyone makes up or is more powerful than him in certain ways. Like Batman is tactical, he's leading the team, and basically everyone else is either on equal power to him or more powerful. And that's a typical team. The only one that may not be fully equal to him is probably Aquaman, but a typical Justice League, as a founding team, I'd say it'd be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. The only one that's not, on a physical equal level is probably Batman and Aquaman, but they still make up for it in their own way. But I'm kind of talking about the Justice League now, and I'm getting distracted from this again. But with it, I am pretty interested to see everything that's going on. And it's nice to see that Courtney was able to figure out her priorities. And some of the few things I'm wondering about is, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be able to put anyone in summer school for, no reason. I thought it was only if you failed, but I don't know, I've never been to summer school because I'm always doing good. I mean, I never will because now the only type of summer school I could do is summer classes for college, and that's, not because you fail, that's to, get a little bit more education during the year, so you're at college for less time. And that's another tangent, so I probably need to keep myself on track. It's already 12:40, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. No matter what, I'm probably gonna be up until like 1 with this, so it doesn't matter. And with it, I think that that's also interesting to see what's gonna be happening next. I am, pretty excited, and I don't think there's much more for me to say about this episode. I don't really think Eclipso is an interesting villain, and it's also interesting to see that Cindy did care about her adopted, stepmother, that her father kind of kidnapped, and was sad to see what happened to her. But honestly, I just wonder who that actress is. She looked familiar, I just couldn't put my finger on it. But with the rest of it, it's not to say, I think it was pretty good. I'm excited for the rest of the season. Okay, so let's go into the Superman and Lois one. And this was another really good episode. Honestly, I think, this is probably one of the best first seasons. And best seasons ever. I just, have to think of it. And honestly, I think maybe I liked Arrow Season 8 a little more. Because the rest of the season was such a nice callback to everything. Well, that was supposed to be, a short and sweet callback. It had, one kind of weak episode, which is Green of the Canaries, but I'll go over that in my review of all of that. And this just had one bad episode. It had so many intriguing plot twists, changes in the story, and more, and I loved every minute of it. Like, this show was so great, and it was intriguing to see. I definitely cannot wait to see this all continue. And while watching, I think that it was so cool to see all this stuff happening. And although the twist, I kind of, I think it did come, as a surprise when the pod was coming in, but I think it was pretty obvious to figure out who was in the pod, especially, once it crashed down to Earth. And that was just really the main thing for me to think about. I was thinking, yeah, that made a lot of sense. That would be his daughter, since they said it connected to his suit and stuff like that. And one other thing I had to say about Steel, besides his daughter appearing, is I'm surprised that he didn't add the Superman symbol onto his suit like he has in the comics. But I still really liked his character, and I'm excited to see it continue. Also, I'm pretty sure that Lex Luthor is going to become a character in it next season, and that nothing really is going to important is going to happen to him on Supergirl. He's probably going to stay in probably about the same state he is right now. I don't think he's going to be arrested or anything, so he could still look like the good guy, but Superman knows who he really is in next season. I mean, they could retcon it, but why would they, especially if they're continuing from the final season of Supergirl to this season? And talking about the final fight with the Eradicator, his army, and everyone else, I think it was really good and well done. I definitely, we all knew that Steel was going to be saved. I don't think, everyone thought he was going to die. At least I hope not, because I think it was pretty obvious Superman was going to save him. And like everyone else's storyline, I think that John's was, well, Jonathan and Jordan definitely had a great time in there. Well, not exactly a great time, but interesting stories. And Lois saving Jordan was very well done. Yeah, I think this is definitely the best from season of the Arrowverse, definitely this year. Yeah, it's definitely up there. And I think I also need some time to think on it, but it's up there with Flash Season 1, Arrow Season 8, Arrow Season 2, Flash Season 2, Legend Season 2, and Arrow Season 1 and stuff like that. I would say there were some really good and solid seasons, but really I think the last, the one that definitely has greatest competition is Season 8 of Arrow and Season 1 of The Flash. And definitely, think of that. In maybe a week or two, I'll be at least ranking the top 5 seasons of the Arrowverse to me. But that's just really best for the future. But thinking of some final stuff. Yeah, I think that this was a really good finale. I am definitely interested to see season 2, and I liked also the stuff with Marvel coming together and Superman really just being able to explain everything to the people. And honestly, the one thing I'm kind of surprised about with this season is that, Lana, Kyle, or Sarah did not figure out about really everything that happened in, that either Clark was Superman or, yeah, but it'd really be that because knowing that Jordan has powers would bring them to the extension of figuring out eventually that Clark is Superman, so it goes either way. And I liked the funeral they had for Clark's dad since his father Crystal was destroyed. It's just been, one thing after another, and they've had no time to really react. And looking at the rest of it, I think. Also, I like that it's called, that General Lane is retiring to be with his family. I think that Jonathan Irons might take over the DoD, especially with General Lane could probably push him to be leader. But I think that the biggest question that I've probably had a few times since it's appeared back in I think it was Arrow season 6 was how does Injustice 2 exist in the Arrowverse? And of course, how does it? Because this is actually has to be different because, well, the main plot of it is Joker kills Lois Lane and one of Superman's unborn child, and it knows the identities of, all the heroes. So my best guess is it's just a fighting game. There is no story mode, and it's kind of uniquely designed. And it sounds like a really fun video to do. How do the Injustice games exist in the Arrowverse? So I think I'll save that for next week. Give myself a little time to think on it. And as I say, I've read the Injustice comics, but I need to finish reading through the boys' comics before school starts. And I think I'm going to take a break on the Thrawn books I was reading. And with Thrawn books, I mean the Ascendancy trilogy. I really want to reread The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books. And then, I don't really want to finish the Ascendancy 2 right now. I just really want to read Lord of the Rings after I finish up in The Hobbit, after I finish up the boys. I'm on like volume 5 or 6, so once I finish that, hopefully by when I start school on I think it's like the 30th, I'll have a video out about that, and that's really everything else. Yeah, I'll have a what if video out soon because it's nearly 1 already. It's 12:50 for me when I'm recording, so I don't know. I'm probably waking up at like 10 a.m. tomorrow. But who knows? Maybe I'll be woken up by little brothers being annoying. Either way, look out for my inevitable what if review. And I'll see you in that, which is the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.